We still have 7 more to go. Number 3, herbal colon cleansing. So if you want to then go down the route of actually flushing out your large intestine, because the average Westerner contains around 5 to 10 kilograms of impacted fecal matter in the colon. That's a lot of weight carrying, and why is it there? Because it's been squashed into the folds from years of eating very gluey foods, like dairy, like refined wheats. You know, I've had some colon hydrotherapists say that they've had people pass things like crayons that they ate when they were kids. Like, things can hang around that long. Yes. So herbal colon cleansing is like cleaning your colon from the top down. I recommend doing the Blessed Herbs cleanse. It's a very easy cleanse to do. It takes a week. You get a whole booklet that tells you how to do it, whether you want to do a weak cleanse or a strong cleanse or a couple of different levels in between. It tells you what to eat, what to drink. It's very, very clear, and we do now have them available in South Africa. I do the Blessed Herbs cleanse every 2 or 3 years. The first time was the most spectacular. It's a bit of a disappointment every other time I do it. What I mean by spectacular is when you start passing very interesting ropey substances. It's amazing. Yeah, you feel clean after that. So recommend that at some point. Okay, try and do it during a time where you've at least got a few days off work, especially towards the end of the cleanse. Beginning of the cleanse is fine, you can go to work, but towards the end, you know, if you need to go to the loo to let rope go, doing it while you're at your desk on computers, maybe not the best place to be. Okay. Number 4, colonics. So if you want to go at it from the bottom up, which is what Jesus was saying in the scene gospel part I was reading, colonics. I mean, it's been done for thousands of years. It's still a part of traditional African culture, enemas. Flushing out your colon should be a natural part of our lifestyles, but unfortunately for some reason in the Western world, it's seen as weird. Like extremely weird. Even just super gross. So if you don't want to do it yourself by doing an enema, then I recommend going to see a colon hydrotherapist and letting them do it for you. Very hygienic, very professional. Getting a colon flush is an essential thing to do. They should recommend that you try and go on a liquid fast for at least a day before, so that at least you're not just washing out the food you ate the day before, you're actually getting out some impacted stuff. Okay, but it's powerful. Like, you will notice how much better you feel and how much better your digestion is after doing something like that. And if you need to know any colonics, we have names at the back. We can put you in touch with them. Alright. Next. Juice fasting. So one of the great ways to drop off a whole load of toxicity is to actually fast. It's the most ancient and widely practiced way of cleansing. In the past, people would recommend water fasts. But because of the level of toxicity most people have in their systems, I don't recommend water fasts. You will cleanse too fast and you'll have too much acidity released, and that could put you in hospital. Seriously, people get hospitalized if they cleanse too quickly with so much toxicity let go. So what I recommend is juice feasting. So this is simply making green juice and drinking green juice and only green juice for as long as you want, drinking as much as you want, as often as you want. So there's no limit to how much green juice you can drink or should drink. You just, when you're hungry or thirsty, you drink the green juice. 1 liter, 2 liters, 4 liters, whatever. Knock it back. And if you want to try one day to begin with, you know, one of the weekend days, just drink green juice, see how you feel. You want to then push it to 3 days. The real benefit and the real positive experience of it is only going to come at about day 3 or 4 though. In any kind of fasting experience, the first 2-3 days are usually when the body is dumping and you get headaches and you might feel a bit nauseous and a little bit wobbly and a little bit tired, maybe a bit irritable. That all passes from about day 2, 3, 4. What happens then is you hit this plateau of bliss. It's the fasting bliss. It's why people often do regular fasts, because when you're there, your body no longer needs to use energy for digestion. And a lot of energy gets used for digestion. So all that energy is released. So you get mental clarity, you get stamina and fitness that you may have never experienced before. I mean, it's pretty amazing. If you've never done a longer than a 3 or 4 day fast, I highly recommend doing it at some point. A few years ago we went and did a 7-day one with Dr. Gabriel Cousins in Israel. I mean, incredible. By day 7 you're like, I don't want to eat again. It's like, I'm feeling so good, food is just going to be a downer. Okay, and if you're doing juice fasting, he recommends it's completely safe for pretty much anyone to do for 30 days. So you can go a whole month on just juice safely. Green vegetable juice. If you are going to be doing a long-term juice fast, I highly recommend you take enzymes and zeolite while you're doing a fast, just to make sure you don't have any of those nasty detox symptoms. At some point in the future we will have another fasting retreat. They are a lot of fun, and it's really nice to do it in a contained space where you don't have to think about work and missioning and that kind of thing. Number 6, water. This is one of the most profound cleansing tools we have. Drinking natural spring water. In Cape Town we have natural spring water available to us 24/7 in Newlands. So go along to the Newlands Spring. They've opened up the new collection points, which is a lot easier for people to fill. There are no more queues. You can get water from there. Just making sure you're drinking enough during the day is one of the most profound things you do to keep your body clean. So how much is enough water? Anyone?
3 liters.
3 liters at the back here. Who's drinking 3 liters a day? Wow, it's like almost no one. Are you guys drinking more or less? So for a lot of people, getting to a liter is a tall order. Especially in summer, 3 liters is a pretty good spot to aim for. And the easiest way to do this is to make sure that you have a bottle of some kind, so that you're drinking it regularly. If you're constantly relying on going to a water container or the tap, goodness, then you're going to forget. If you've got a bottle with you, then you're always reminded of drinking. So we've got either glass Marin bottles or the flow water bottles. Those are great ones to use. Whatever you have, I'm sure you've got something in your house you can put water in. In winter, your needs may drop because it's not so hot, you're not perspiring as much. Obviously, the more you exercise, the more water you need. The easiest thing to look at is your urine color. If it's pretty clear, you're drinking enough. If it's dark, you're not drinking enough. Simple. Oh, this is one thing I sometimes people say. But if you drink too much water, you could die. It's almost impossible. I think the only person who actually died was on a comrade's marathon, and he didn't die of drinking too much water, he drank an electrolyte dropout. Because that's what happens. If you drink like 10, 20 liters of water, you'll flush out electrolytes. So don't worry about drinking too much. Okay. Next, breathing. Number 7. Your lungs are one of your biggest, after your skin, detox organs, breathing out toxicity. Making sure you're breathing in deeply so that you're getting a full dose of oxygen, which is again a primary detox mineral. Sitting at a computer all day doesn't make you breathe deeply, except for the occasional sigh. Okay, but not even that is enough. So make sure you're getting out into the forest and going for a walk. I think that's the next one, exercise. But breathing in deeply. Does anyone notice if they're feeling stressed, just breathing deeply a few times just immediately calms the system down? It's amazing. Next time you're feeling stressed or too busy or tired even, just take a few deep breaths into your abdomen and just see how your entire system just goes. Pretty amazing. It's another free thing. Number 8, exercise. So exercise allows your lymph system to be cleansed. Your lymph system is like your body's sewage system. And it doesn't have a heart like your body's blood system to pump it around to keep it moving. Your lymph system needs you to physically move your body for it to be drained. So what happens is that your lymph, you can consider it like a big syringe. It fills and fills and fills and fills. And then when you move and breathe, it empties. But if you don't move and breathe, it stays full. And eventually starts flowing over and causing all sorts of toxicity in your system. So it's absolutely key that you get your body moving to allow your lymph to drain. Walking is one of the easiest things to do. Just going for a walk in the forest, in the Fynbos, wherever, or in the park, around your garden, something. Obviously, the more cardiovascular stimulating it is, the better. So get your heart rate up, maybe even get a bit of a sweat going. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. If all of this sounds a little bit too hectic for you, then buy a little mini trampoline. It's called a lymphosizer, and you just have to do this for 10 minutes, and you get a full lymph drain with breathing. Sorry. That'll give you a full lymph drain. If you don't want to buy the trampoline, well then go walk. Okay. Exercise. Next, grounding. So this is where we get into our environmental pollution on the non-visible side. So EMFs, things like cell phone radiation and Wi-Fi and all of the stuff that's surrounding us and increasing more and more every day. You need to ground that stuff out of your system, because if you're insulated from the earth, which is the ground, it floats around your system and you wonder why you're so frantic all the time. People wonder why they can't get to sleep at night, because you've got all of this stuff bouncing around in your electrical field. It's measurable. So what happens when your foot touches the earth bare is that there's an electrical connection, and that connection allows your body to release all of the stored or built up charge of Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. So that's why getting out into nature barefoot as often as possible is essential. If you find you have trouble sleeping, go and stand on the grass outside in your garden for 10-15 minutes. You'd be amazed the difference it makes. This is why I stand on one of these mats. This mat is electrically grounded to the earth outside with a spike. So by standing here, any radiation is going straight out of me. But it's not only that, there's also a two-way street. The earth is constantly releasing electrons, electricity, and we can absorb that through our skin. Another name for this electricity is antioxidants. So you can either spend a lot of money on antioxidant supplements, or you can just get grounded. Grounding is more effective. I love goji berries. They're amazingly powerful antioxidants, but grounding gives you more antioxidants all day long for free.
That wouldn't work in a flat or a apartment?
Absolutely. Most plugs, if not all plugs, have got a ground point. It's the top long point of the plug. So if you wire something to that point, not the lower two, if you put it to the wrong one there, you kill yourself. Top long one is the earth one, and then you, like initially when there wasn't this clever mat technology, I would just wind a wire around my foot and put it in the earth of the plug. That works. I don't recommend it unless you really know what the grounding point is, but yeah, this kind of stuff works
So
even in the
that
flats.
is actually connected to a plug somewhere?
No, this one I've got a spike outside, but I could have used the plug. I've got both.
Okay.
Yeah. So that also works. We still have a few of these mats at our shop. I bring them in twice a year. They're quite expensive, but if people do have serious insomnia or really care about their health and they try it. I mean, I've been using grounding technology now for over 5 years. And when I travel, I always take my grounding stuff with me. It's pretty amazing stuff. And there's a lot of very profound scientific research behind it. Okay, the hippies may have figured it out, but it's been proven since then that barefoot is better. Number 10, mental and emotional cleansing. So if you manage to do all of this stuff, your mind and your feeling body is going to be getting a lot better. A lot better already. But obviously, as I mentioned earlier, there is this rucksack of garbage that people carry around with themselves, and often that needs some professional intervention. Going along to someone who's an NLP practitioner can be really helpful, someone who can just deconstruct that stuff, take it out, diffuse it, gone. So you don't have to deal with it. It really is as simple as, do you want it? No, let's remove it. You can process through stuff. And often people are just wary or scared of doing it because it feels hectic for them. Because the more time that goes past, the more they build it up for themselves. So if you want to know about any therapists, I can highly recommend a number of people, including courses and workshops you can attend to do this. I mean, it was barren in my background before we got into food, was peak performance workshops, basically putting people through processes of how to release this garbage. And it's profoundly powerful. Highly recommended. Any questions on these 10 points before I move along? No? Got it? Write them all down? Okay. They seem simple, they are simple. I don't get complex in these talks because there's no need to. It's the simple stuff that people forget about. It's the simple stuff that is most powerful. It's not expensive to be healthy. Like often people say this, oh, but superfoods and it's so expensive. I'm like, you know, to be healthy you don't actually need any of it. I mean, how many of these things on this list are free? Next, daily cleansing program. So if you want to get into taking certain supplements and eating in a certain way, I highly recommend this cleansing program. It works for most people and it's something you can do daily. You start your day with a liter of clean water, whether that's warm with lemon or whether you put a bit of minerals in there like rock salt or just plain, if you like it. I'm quite liking my water chilled at the moment in this heat. I find that cooler water is far more hydrating for me than warm water. Have you noticed that when you drink a cup of warm water, you kind of feel like, yeah. Cool water, it's like, ah. It has been shown that cold water, the molecules are more tightly knit, so it actually does hydrate you better. Obviously, if it's too cold, it's going to shock your digestive system, so you don't want to cool it either. Next, probiotic capsules or powder, and or fulvic acid liquid with water. You don't have to do them both. I'd recommend the probiotics. If you really want to go further, you can add in the fulvic acid. Then you're looking at about a half a litre of fresh green juice or green smoothie, either before breakfast or as breakfast. For a lot of people, if they are new to green smoothies or juices, they'll find that a half a litre and they can't eat anything else, even though it was only juice. The reason it makes you feel so full is because of the mineral density of the green leaves. And our body's hunger signal is basically a need for minerals. So as soon as you get those minerals in, the body's hunger system goes off. It's like, oh, got what I wanted. It's one of the reasons so often people are hungry all the time when they're on a standard Western diet. Because they aren't getting the minerals from the food, so they need to keep eating to try and find the minerals. The other 500 ml, because you're going to be juicing a litre, because the little bucket of the juicer is a litre, put in a flask. Either keep it in the fridge for the afternoon or evening when you get home, or take it with you to work. Next, take enzymes with every meal you eat, especially if it's a cooked meal. It's a powerful way to help your system digest that food so there aren't any remains or partially digested items.
Would you take them even if it was a raw meal?
If you're new to raw food, it's very helpful too, yeah. They'll help break down the fiber. Often people have forgotten how to break down the fiber because of sloppy food for a long time, so it's very beneficial. As I said, I only really take them if I've eaten too much, which, if we go out for dinner, often can happen, or if I've eaten late. What's next? MSM, powder or tablets. This is kind of your before breakfast thing still. So the MSM is going to help you cleanse out all that stuff too. So now you're going to be having chia porridge for breakfast. Who's had chia porridge? Our chia meal. We've just got it back in stock for those of you who've been craving it. I'm very excited. I've been craving it and I haven't had it. So it's back. Chia meal is a blend of chia seeds and a number of other superfoods, and it's like an instant breakfast porridge. You just have to add water and away you are. Or you can just add it to whatever you're having for breakfast to increase the nutrient density of that breakfast. But chia seeds themselves, fiber rich, omega-3 rich, very good for cleansing. Then we get to eating as much of your food as possible throughout the day, being raw, organic and plant-based. I'm not saying eat all of your food, raw, organic or plant-based. I'm saying as much as possible for you. And that's different for each person. As much as possible for you. That depends on how new you are to eating this way, your particular budget, time, all sorts of different things. Snack on fresh organic fruit during the day. So when you feel like a snack, go for organic fruit. Don't go to the vending machine. Okay. Vending machine is one of the easiest ways to toxify yourself. There's a lot of really nice fresh organic food available at the moment. What else have we got? Oh, eat a sprout salad for lunch. So this is either going to be for lunch or dinner, but one of your big meals during the day, make sure you've got a lot of salad, if not primarily salad. And I say a sprout salad because sprouts are one of the most potent living foods you can consume. Activated minerals and enzymes and vitamins. One of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat. And they're so easy to grow, especially at the moment. I mean, we're putting our sprouts in the jars and they're ready 2 to 3 days later. If you have no idea how to make sprouts, how to grow them, our book Rawlicious and our Rawlicious DVD goes through the process. I mean, the DVD is really nice because you can see us doing it. Very easy to do. The main reason why people get it wrong is they don't rinse them often enough. They forget about them for 3 days. And they come back and they're either a sloppy mess or they've dried out. Okay. And then lastly, have zeolite before bed with water. The reason I put the zeolite at the end of the day is that while you're asleep at night, your body is cleansing. And the zeolite is just going to help bind all those toxins up while you're asleep so you don't reabsorb them. So that's the daily program. It looks like a lot of points, but it actually doesn't take much time to do.
Can you take zeolite indefinitely?
Yes, absolutely. Completely safe to take. Yeah. Completely safe. Okay, now I'm going to get to this picture. The pond. So one of the things you may experience through any kind of detox are detox symptoms, or cleansing episodes, or detox reactions, whatever. I mean, people have different names for them. It's basically when you get on a cleaner diet and you start feeling not so good. Now, detox symptoms like this shouldn't last more than 2 to 3 days. If it's going on longer, there's something else going on. A normal detox symptom is 1 to 3 days, sometimes just a few hours. While the body is getting rid of excess toxicity, it may float around your bloodstream and cause you to have headaches or nausea or that kind of thing. The first big cleanse I went on, about 7 years ago, I was down with serious flu for about a week. Like I'm talking shivers, hot sweats, like properly flu. That was the last time I had flu. Haven't had it since. That was 2004, 2005, last time I had flu. It's really an unnecessary thing to have. If your body is kept clean, there's no need for it. So the reason I have the diagram is to explain what's going on. So your body, you can say, is kind of like a pond. You can see the pond looks kind of clean on top, the water looks clear, but eventually suddenly the pipe that's spraying the water, or the pump, stops working. And you realize, oh, obviously it's gotten clogged up, because all this stuff floats to the bottom, silts up the bottom, and then clogs the pump. So you just get in there with your gumboots and you clean out all the rubbish, and then the pump works again. And our body works in a similar way. Over time, all the rubbish that's consumed starts clogging up the digestive system, and eventually then you get constipation. The pipes are blocked. When that happens, you know you need to get in there with your gumboots and get cleaning. So you're either going to go with enemas or colonics, or you're going to go with herbal colon cleansers, or you're going to go on a juice fast. Something to get the pipes moving again. Don't rely on the tablets to make everything blast out. You know what I'm talking about? Laxatives. They are a quick fix that doesn't actually deal with the issue. The pond. When you're going through a detox symptom, a good mantra is, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Drink a lot of water, make sure you take your enzymes and your zeolite. Those are the two key things during any cleansing experience. Take it easy, and they should pass pretty quickly. If they don't, if you're still having symptoms after a couple of days, go and seek professional help. So there are a number of nutritionists and medical doctors that we highly recommend in Cape Town and the rest of the country. So if you do need assistance, go and find it. Any questions on that?
Why do you say to take enzymes if you're doing a juice fast, if you're not eating food?
The juice itself is loaded with enzymes. But I learned this from Dr. Gabriel Cousins, who said that when he added enzymes to people's regime while they were going through a cleanse, you literally had 50 to 90% reduction in detox symptoms, headaches, nausea, that kind of thing. What they do is they absorb into your bloodstream, and they actually mop up toxins that are in your bloodstream, especially partially digested proteins. So you could take enzymes at night before going to bed a couple of times a week, and that's what they'll do.
So it's not just for breaking
It's
down
not
food.
just for breaking down food, exactly, yeah. Especially proteolytic enzymes, the protein digesting ones. Those are the ones that they normally use for cleansing. So next, Dr. Bernard Jensen says, it is my sincere belief that one of the bowel's greatest enemies in civilized society is the ergonomic nightmare known as the toilet. So I have to end on a high note. I think some of you may have travelled to places where toilets are on the ground, squatty potties. Anyone experienced those before? Did anyone experience an increased regularity from using those? You see that shape of the body, the squat position, is like the body's signal to let go. It's like you get, I see it with Katara. She's crawling around, she's suddenly squats and it's amazing. So by sitting, your colon is slightly curved, so you never get a full release of fecal matter. It's one of the major reasons for colon cancer. So basically it's getting into as close a squatting position, just make sure that you're getting a full bowel movement. And obviously also activating that natural trigger for your body to say, okay, it's time to release. So you don't have to learn how to balance on a toilet seat like I have. I'm not very good at it. You can get these little steps that you put at your toilet so that you just lift your legs a little bit higher, safe, no risk of falling into the loo. Gail actually has someone who's making them for us out of wood, so if you're interested in getting one of them, just chat to her at the end and she can organize for you. But basically you could use anything, a big cardboard box could do. Okay, but eventually you may fall into it. Do not underestimate the power of this one simple little thing. It's amazing. So moving right along then, we have actually written a whole little book on cleansing and detoxification. It's called the Detox and Cleanse Mini Manual, and you are welcome to download it for free online. This is the URL for it, superfoods.coza/cleansedetox.htm. So have a look on there, and you can download the PDF, and pretty much everything I've spoken about tonight and a whole lot more is in this ebook.